And we're back on the Tortoise and Hare experience. Just heard Break Me With You by Michael Grant. Love that song. We played that song last time, and I was
I think it was a demo version.
Yeah. This is
like the real deal.
This the what would you call it? It's
the mastered.
No. There's another name for it.
not
the
incorrect,
fucking badass version.
Yeah,
I cussed.
I liked it.
I like that. I invoke the cussing out of you.
Yeah, you do
Good.
sometimes.
I'm a great influence.
Yeah, just sometimes.
So with every show, we always started off with an experience. I went last time, so go ahead, Max, begin your experience.
Well, what we just experienced on that last episode was pretty epic.
Yeah.
But I have to tell you, when I took those guys out to Santa Monica, that was
You're talking
about Gabe and their sound engineer Sebastian. They came to Santa Monica Boulevard with me, which in West Hollywood is known for being a what's the proper term for that? What's the politically correct? Denim Dan, you would know this, right?
You're already cursed.
I know. I know. It's a very gay section, right?
Boom.
They
Say it.
okay. Well, it's I don't know the right things to say in that term, but it's so blurred. It's so blurred. I don't know what I am or where I'm going or who was dressed in my dress. I don't know what's happening. There were shots. There was
a white person without them getting
right. I know.
Irish and
Right. You know, and it's funny because when you go to these places and you're trying to just fit in and have fun.
That's a tough one.
It was amazing. It was awesome because of one event. This guy came up dressed in drag, but he was about 400 pounds and he was wearing a white frilly skirt about this big. For our listeners that can't see us, it's about and a bra with his man breasts hanging from underneath it, and white torn stockings with garters. And
Torn, so they've seen some road miles.
Nice.
It was the most epic outfit I have ever seen on a transgender-ish person of a large proportion
We may have to
on Santa
epic.
Monica Boulevard. It was great, but their expression, because these guys are not used to that, was priceless. It was so amazing to see Gabe's face when this guy walked up and was just like, it was an average, Thursday night. He had no thought in, this is how I dress and just love
Shim.
it. It was awesome.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
Because it's always Friday.
Yeah, it is. It's always Friday night on Santa Monica Boulevard. Yep. So what was your experience?
My experience, I just finished a last show that Tortoise and Hare experience. I was talking about that I started this 30-day challenge where I was giving up one thing a day for 30 days.
Really?
I gave up a lot of stuff. It's supposed to help you to let go of things because I keep a lot of things and I can't let go. So
You're like a hoarder?
Not a hoarder per se, but I just have I'm very sentimental.
Mm-hmm.
So movie ticket stubs, concert
Exactly.
tickets,
the beer bottle.
I had a beer can that me and
can.
my sister shared.
You guys played kick the can with it.
Yeah, exactly, like stuff like that. So I was finally able to let that go. And one of the things,
Did you recycle it?
yeah, I recycled it.
Yeah.
So I let it go. But
turtle.
Gotta go green when you're recycling.
I go green all the time.
So
Yeah.
one of the things that it was funny because when I just started it, I forgot who we had on, and they were just like, "What's the hardest thing that you've had to lose?" And I was like, "Well, I don't know. I just started this challenge, So so I was finally coming up, and I was like, okay, I need to fear something. I need to fear in order to to break away and really change. So. I started thinking about, and this is weird though. I started thinking about the concept of my image, you know, because people get stuck in their image. You know, they get stuck with, you know, this, you know, this facial hair is who I am, so I must be that forever. So I was like, you know what, I can't have those thoughts, I can't have those ideas. So I shaved everything off. Usually I have you know, a full beard.
Scruffaluffagus,
Yeah, exactly. But I was like, no,
itchy kisses.
Yeah, I was like, I gotta let go of something. So I let go of that, and I let go of that thought of image of like, well, you know, my image is whatever I perceive it to be.
Right.
And you know, like whether it's me with whatever, that doesn't change who I am. It just changed the aesthetics of who I am.
It's
I
harder.
completely get that, and I actually relate so hard to what you just described because I recently cut my hair, as you know,
and that was tragic for me.
And everybody was just had their own opinion and kind of hating on it, and at some point you just gotta do you and not give a you know.
Yeah, but you look like an anime character now.
You do.
Which is
I always
pretty
have.
fabulous. But you know, it's a difficult thing when for an actor, musician, model to change their image
because people get tied to your image as well.
Exactly.
It's not just you. It's not
and
like you just have to let
you
go.
have photos that
Bitches
you know,
be crying that I cut my hair. It's
Yeah,
like, come
no.
on. It
For
grows
real.
back.
it's like, hey, why
I'm in an
do it?
experimental mode. I just wanted to do something different the same way that you did, and it was something for me to let go of because I had long hair for like 12 years, 13 years, and
It was gradual though. Your
yeah,
cutting because it was
chicken
really
shit
long,
style.
and then you
really,
went
that's what I call it.
every time I saw it,
Well,
it
it's
was
like a
getting
little
shorter
bit
and
shorter, a
shorter.
little bit shorter, till one day it was just like pompadour,
Yep, there it is.
and then Rufio, and then Sid Vicious.
Yo.
I get
believe
Asian Sid Vicious a lot.
Rakia
It's nice.
Ashante is a huge fan of the Lost Boys, you know, with Rufio, right?
Yes,
I believe she is.
well, it's
Yeah,
Pan,
food
but
fighting. Yep, Pan the Man.
Yeah, so that has been my experience.
Hook. Sorry.
No,
Not
It
Pan.
was-
Peter
yeah,
Pan.
It's Peter
Hook.
Pan, but it was Hook,
Yeah.
and Rufio was from that.
I always enjoy having you on, Michael. This
you.
is like the third, fourth time having you on. You always have interesting stories, and you're very much yourself, and that's always just great. You know,
Thank you.
so very, very
It's
excited.
good to be back.
Yay.
Yeah, I feel like I haven't seen you though in like a year.
Has it been a year?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I've been on the road a long time.
Let's talk about you on the road. We just had another band in that's coming in from the road. Road life is a tough business.
People don't get that though.
They don't. They just think you're there, you're out partying, and that's all you're doing. You know.
No, that's like 25% of the game, really. I mean, most of it is grunt work or travel time, or like just being completely jet lagged and exhausted, and you have about an hour of glory on that stage, and that's all people see. So they see that hour of glory, and they're just like, "Oh, it's glorious," and they don't understand that you're tired. You haven't slept for 2 days because you've been on planes and missed the flight, and then something got delayed. You know, it's really stressful, and I think the hardest part for me is like missing family and friends, and like your life starts to kind of slip.
Yeah.
And you're on this track, and you can't go home. Sometimes it sucks, and then you get on the stage, and there's like thousands of people, and you're like, oh, that's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Get back to the hotel, and you're like,
definitely.
what the do I do now?
Right. It's over.
Why aren't these thousands of people
You're
just with me all the
FaceTiming
time?
everybody
Yeah.
now.
You go
Yeah.
from like to
Well, you know, the last band was talking about their relationships on the road and how it's difficult to hold that,
man, it's
you know.
just relationship suicide.
Yeah.
To be honest,
Yeah, it's hard.
it's hard to find somebody who can cope with like what you have to do, and sometimes people just like get jealous that you're doing like so much, and maybe they're not doing enough.
Right.
I always thought, you know, and dealing with musicians, they told me the latter, but I always thought if you're a musician, the only person that you can probably end up being with is a musician. But a lot of
I
musicians
can't
are like,
stand musicians. Are you kidding me? It's
Hey,
all
hey.
just little pricks.
Hey,
well, because
I'm
you
a
know,
musician, so
flying,
you know.
they're just flying around here.
you know, my thought process is like you're very much able to talk to them and discuss just the musician lifestyle, and they're more keen to it.
I tried that with like a variety of different musicians,
Would you-
females who
would
play
you say-
different instruments or sing, and I think I don't think that works for me. It doesn't work because it's just like I end up being in a song and I know it's about me. I'm like, come on, like that's definitely about us.
And you're not.
And it's painful sometimes, like because it's not
No.
always it's not always I love you and
Yeah, but
everything's okay. It's usually some bad shit that you did
Well,
that
don't
ends
do
up
bad
being in the
shit.
song. Don't do bad shit. I'm not saying that I'm doing bad shit, and I'm not saying that I hadn't ever done bad shit, but I'm just saying like
Things happen.
Things
get misconstrued.
Yes, and what becomes immortalized on tape, on CD, on MP3, whatever the hell these days, is like some negative memory, and then but it sucks because it's a kind of a great song. Like
Every time you go into a Walmart,
I had
you
an
like
ex
hear
write a
it on the
song
radio,
about me, and
it's
it
like,
was fantastic. But it was like the saddest, most like gut wrenching, powerful experience. I don't want to go through that all the time.
yeah, but
Who wants
yeah,
to watch Titanic over and over?
yeah, you write about girls, don't you?
Yeah, I write about girls.
Well, see how that switches around.
Well, it's
Amazing.
different. They're girls.
Oh, okay, they're
You're
girls.
wonderful, splendid, amazing creatures, you know?
Yeah.
Infinite mystery and beauty. Like, what's not to write about? We're hairy, nasty
I
men.
love girls. I love smelling them. I'm like, I love to. Let me just smell you. They're great.
Baby's breath.
I'm just
Right.
gonna sit.
Girls don't get me, man. They really don't.
Me neither.
Like, I come off really creepy.
Most girls
It's
get like this fantasy, and then they kind of build what I am around this fantasy. And they're like, oh, you're kind of dorky. I'm like,
Yeah, no, you're a total dork.
yeah.
Yeah, you're a zombie loving.
I'm horror movie obsessed. That's
Yeah, he is,
for
which is why we work together.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that's
horror movie obsessed. I have to sleep to some screaming and some bloody guts and murder.
Okay. Have you seen Ocalypse or any?
No, none of the
crazy?
new ones. I actually really want to see Oculus.
I'm like, let's me and you go. Like, come on.
down anytime.
Okay.
Man. Anytime.
Okay, that'd be fun.
Tomorrow. I'm actually down for Oculus tomorrow. And no bullshit.
Okay.
nice.
Yeah. Well,
You have a date?
I don't have horror movie buddies. Like,
Okay.
And any females or males that I want to take, like, oh no, I want something funny, and then girls are like, that's really scary. I don't want to do that.
So scary.
I can't. I'll have
Cool.
nightmares.
I'm like, we just made a horror buddy match.
Yeah.
Yay, horror
It's about
world.
time.
And speaking of horror, I'm gonna plug
Yeah, I
something
saw
right
you
now.
What?
this-
Max
this
plugging
movie
something?
or something earlier, like a trailer.
Yeah,
What
I
was the
just
movie called?
it's House of Manson, and
Already sounds great.
yeah, right. How can you beat that? You know.
Tell me about it.
House of Manson is about the Manson family and Charlie, and I play Rosemary LaBianca.
So you die.
I die. Yeah.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
Well,
Hey,
you know,
the
it's
news
kind of
headlines
a
spoiled that
famous
for us
story.
like years and years and years ago.
I'm still bruised from that.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm bruised from head to toe.
Sexy.
Yeah, I got stabbed 47 times.
Who's counting?
Did they actually like put 47 stab wounds on you, or
They,
was it just
well,
kind of
it was
implied?
there was 3 people stabbing me at one time. It
They're like
was
cut fade to black. She gets stabbed.
no. They really did. They sat on top of me, and
Sexy.
it was rough. It was really rough. It was emotionally a very challenging role to do.
That must have
And,
took it out of you.
It did. I was. I'm stuttering a lot tonight. I was destroyed after that because that
Total
was an
Presence
actual.
does that to a lot
It's
of
an
people.
actual
Thank you.
person.
So just
it does.
try to take a deep breath when you're around my boy. It
Please.
helps.
Well, it's his smell.
Baby's breath.
It's my. I call it musk. It's my musk.
I've always thought that word, no matter what it smells like, it's just bad.
No, musk. It's not sexy.
Yeah. Oh, she's
Do you
so
remember
musky.
like Love's Baby Soft when you were a kid? Do you remember the girls smelling of that? Because that was like girls like
What was
first.
girl smells?
girls like first perfume when you're like 5, what your parents would buy you because it's like acceptable is called Love's Baby Soft.
I think for Filipinos it's like potpourri.
Yeah.
Potpourri.
That's the first wow.
It's a little like curry or something.
Every
behind
auntie
here.
and grandma's fucking house smells like potpourri.
Well, no, it's little girls. They're supposed to have this perfume.
Little girls?
Little girls. That's
I
their
don't go
first
walking
one.
around smelling little girls.
Weren't you ever a little boy?
No.
Like,
I came out of my mama's womb jumping at 5'10".
Like,
wow.
I believe that's true.
Wreck that pussy.
That's right. She didn't walk the same ever
Turtle,
again.
Words. Oh my goodness, this show has just gone to
The
pot.
show is going to be the
It's gonna be great.
shut your mouth.
Yeah, shut your mouth.
Saw this about you. You
It's not true.
shared the 11 albums that changed your life. Want to touch on some of them real quick. We'll save number 1 for the last one. So we're working our way down.
Up.
Whatever. We're just. We'll start at number 10. But it is 11, right? U2, the Joshua Tree. That's number 11. Want to talk real quick about that?
Yeah, anytime that I hear Where the Streets Have No Name, just like from the intro, I like melt inside.
Okay.
And it's a very personal thing. And there was one sunset I shared with like a couple of friends when I was at Burning Man, like, I don't know, 5-6 years ago. And it was like sunrise. I think it was sunrise, yeah. Didn't sleep, partied, and it was so beautiful. And that song came on at the perfect moment, and it permanently just engraved that into me. And every time I hear it, even now, I could put that bitch on repeat and still feel that little melty, put me in the microwave
like your
kind of
eyes
feeling.
are tearing a little bit right
It's
now.
like-
You're a little.
All right.
Bono's
He's
voice,
cavelling.
Edge's guitar tone, they have it sounds, that album is perfect.
Okay.
But with the blue sky, with or without you, it's like, I still haven't found what I'm looking for. It's a perfect record.
Number 10. This is where you had me. The Cure, Disintegration. Oh,
The first time I heard the bass line for Disintegration, I was like, all right, you got me, done. And his vocal melodies are very like sporadic and in odd places. It's not just like pop performance. It was like poetic and expressive, and it was really dangerous subject matter, like about sucking dick and like shut your fucking mouth. And, it's like, but he's making it sound, in this like desperation. And all the music's perfect. They have made me like a song with a 2.5 minute intro.
yeah.
That's tough to do. Metallica, For Whom the Bell Tolls, and The Cure are like some of the only people that do that.
Speaking of Metallica, they make your number 9, Metallica with Master of Puppets.
Yeah. That was the first Metallica record I heard. Very exciting. Stuff got to me a little bit later, but I remember being in the Philippines and a friend showed me like a variety of metal, and I was like 11 years old. And I remember hearing Master of Puppets, and immediately I feel so relieved after I hear the song.
Brought a sense of calmness.
Yeah, it's like that pasty, fast, thrashy, heavy metal just became a part of me. Like, even now, even when I play my projects or in my band, where it's not exactly metal, it just, the metal influence just seems to seep out, and I can tell it.
Number 8, Guns N' Roses, Appetite for Destruction.
Another one of those in the Philippines that I heard. I lived in the Philippines for like 2 or 3 years.
What part? Like
I lived in Quezon City, Project 7. My family is from Cabanatuan, Nueva Ecija.
That's sexy.
okay.
Wasn't that sexy, girls? That was sexy.
Those
Nikki
girls in here,
Nishimoto
right?
is dying
They're
on the
holding
couch
hands.
right
I
now.
love that.
It's like,
There's a sense of unity and togetherness in this room. I love it.
yeah.
Number 7, Michael Jackson's Thriller.
That was actually one of the first records I ever heard.
Okay.
My dad had it on vinyl. I remember seeing the cover, and it was always by the record player. It was always by the record player. And, shot of Michael with Tiger, and the first like video I ever saw was Thriller, and that birthed my obsession with zombies. That was it. I was terrified. I was actually terrified. When Thriller would come on, I would be like dancing for a while, and then once it's like boom, 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 and he starts getting freaky.
Yeah. And that face.
Bam! I was like terrified. I had to rain dance. I was living in New Jersey at the time, and we lived 2 houses away from the cemetery.
They were coming
I'm
after
like,
you.
God damn it, Michael is gonna get me. So,
Daddy, I'm afraid of
but
Michael
that album,
Jackson.
like, one of my favorite tracks. Human Nature.
Yeah.
Anytime I hear Human Nature, same kind of YouTube melting feeling. And he does that high falsetto in the end. Boom.
Do you know who wrote that song?
I'm gonna guess.
Taking a shot in the
Is it Lionel Richie?
dark. Complete shot in the
No.
It's
dark.
not Quincy.
No,
Right?
no, it was.
Don't tell me.
Okay.
Eric Clapton. Okay, just
No.
tell me because I'll
No.
never guess.
It's Toto wrote that song.
Wow.
Shut your face.
Yeah, yeah, and they actually play on
Who
that
from
whole
Toto?
record.
The band wrote it?
The key guy.
Oh, he's gonna kill me.
It's not. It's not a Lukather.
No, not Steve, but Steve is playing on it.
We have been discussing the 11 albums as
We're at number 8.
changed the life of Michael Grant. And we are at number 6.
Number 6. What
Yeah,
happened to
I
number
don't
Just-
even
Oh,
remember
yeah,
what these are, like the ones that I put. So this is kind of interesting for me. I'm hearing like what I said from a while back.
Like, you don't remember what you say? I mean,
I wonder if they would change.
yeah.
Well, I
Well,
would
we'll-
say they probably changed because there's like 20 albums that kind of.
okay. Well, these are 11,
Yeah.
so not.
He only gave
20.
me 11. You know how hard that is to do.
Yeah. I'm trying to think about the 11. That's tough.
It's so tough.
Yep. Number 6, the Beatles, Sgt. Pepper's. Sgt. Pepper, I should say.
The moment I heard Day in a Life and the swirly part,
Mm-hmm.
that was it. And Little Help with My Friends, everything about that. And I love the cover and how much I used to get lost just looking at the cover and just discovering new things. And
What'd you think about the movie?
the movie was interesting. You know, had like the Bee Gees and
Right, Peter Frampton.
Peter Frampton.
The
It was.
awesome Peter
I like that
Frampton.
the all-star cast. But my favorite movie there is actually like Can't Buy Me Love, or I'm sorry, A Hard Day's Night.
Hard
and,
Day's Night, yeah. That
And
was
Help. I actually love Help. Those two, I think the band was really still kind of getting along at that time. So it kind of shines in the.
Yeah.
You know, they're all happy and doing all crazy kind of stuff, and you could really get a sense of everybody's personality. And I mean, just the Beatles in general. I mean, Sgt. Pepper, yeah, but the Beatles in general just blew my mind. I spent a lot of my youth like learning a lot their entire catalog and jamming it out with my dad. So that was kind of like our bonding experience band that kind of like brought me and my dad to like play music together, and my brother.
Very cool.
So. Yeah.
Number 5, Oasis with What's the Story? Morning Glory.
Surprising.
Good album.
That album, I think that has a lot to do with where I was at the time. Like, you know, I was junior high school at that time, so it's a lot of like, a lot of the memories are attached to like Don't Look Back in Anger, or Wonderwall. What's that one? Champagne Supernova. Oh.
It's Champagne Supernova.
Champagne Supernova in the sky. Oh man, I can't tell you how much weed I've smoked to that song. And it's one of those songs that when I hear it today, or if I play it, I cover that song a lot when I play my acoustic sets or anything or something like that. And the way that it makes people feel, and what it does to people, and the way people sing back the songs from that record, any of the songs, you sing any of them. You know, it's amazing. It's amazing when people hear "Don't Look Back in Anger." They're just screaming their heads off and
Sally can't wait.
yeah. Not a lot of songs can do that to people.
Oh yeah, She's Electric is on there too.
Yeah,
She's electric. She got a family full of eccentrics, and I need more time. Yeah,
I love it.
Number 4. You know what? I can honestly have never heard of this band. Louder Milk with the Red Record.
Man, you will have to check them out. I'll send you some stuff. Yeah. Louder Milk is one of those bands that was kind of like an almost famous thing, but they put out this one record called the Red Record, and it's like a mix of like the Hours, Smashing Pumpkins, little Led Zeppelin, and completely individual flavor of their own. They have one of the best drummers and a good friend of mine. They're actually good friends of mine. And they've all gotten to do different things now. But when they were kids, when they were young 21-year-olds or something, they made this record. And it's outstanding, like track for track. And I remember seeing them as a kid. I saw them in San Francisco at this club called The Bottom of the Hill. And I went alone. I drove 80 miles from my hometown of like Sacramento at the time. And I drove all alone. I just got a car. I was like 18. I drove out all by myself in the big city. All right.
Young Mikey Grant.
Had like $70 in my pocket, balling.
That's a lot of money.
I went to go see the show. There was nobody there. There was like nobody. So I waited and I went to go meet him. And after the show, ended up like becoming great friends and having sushi. They took me out to sushi. They're like, "We're gonna go have sushi. You want to come?" I'm like, yeah. Dude, look at me, dude. I'm a quarter Japanese. Of course I want sushi. Rice is in my DNA, bruh.
That's true.
You know?
That's true.
And so, yeah, you got to check out that record.
Okay.
It moved me.
Number 3, Silverchair with Diorama. Is that their first album?
No.
Which
first album to me is shite. And the second album is all right.
Yeah, it's like number 3.
But once they got older, I think that might be the 4th record of theirs, because then there was Freak Show, and then I think it might have been after Freak Show, so it might have been the 4th record. They were already in their 20s, and it was at the singer Daniel John's most beautiful state. Like, he was like a Bowie to me, because he was so androgynous and beautiful.
Yeah,
it made me feel weird, you know. But then the music kind of took over. I was like, I'm just gonna focus on the music and not this pretty motherfucker. But the song Without You just was one of those, like, I was surfing through astral planes once I heard his voice, and like it is completely different. Like, he doesn't sing like this anymore. He sings like completely himself. He found his, I think this is the record that he found his true like voice. Cool. He wasn't trying to do Vedder, or he wasn't trying to sound like some dude from the South.
Well, he probably had enough control at that point to not have like the record company tell him how he was going to sound, so he got to actually sing.
That's true.
Or he could have just really found his voice, and it took him that many, times, trips. Or albums to finally figure it out.
Yeah,
you know?
If you listen to the growth, like, I'm actually not into too much of the earlier stuff, but that record, and that's the thing, it wasn't a band that I was crazy about. It was just a band I was like, oh, they're those young kids, and their albums are kind of shite. Mm-hmm. And then I listened to that record without judgment, and I was just like, this is amazing. Like, how did those dudes do that? Like, this is amazing. So it's one of those records.
Okay.
You absolutely have to check it out. It sounds nothing like any of the earlier stuff.
Okay.
It's just amazing.
Number 2, Smashing Pumpkins with Siamese Dream.
That is the big, like, humongoloid game changer for me. That record got me to play guitar, and I remember sitting by the speaker and playing that CD over and over. I didn't know how to read music. I didn't get lessons, but I like made it a point to learn by ear that entire fucking record, and I did. And I think to this day, it still shapes a lot of the ways that I write, a lot of the kind of textures I like to use, some of the synthy stuff. I mean, they were they were ahead of their time, and it still it shows today when you listen to the records, and they're still fresh. Yeah. Not the new shit. I'm not talking about Zeitgeist. I'm not talking about any of that. But from like Machina down is just pure genius. I don't know what's going on with Billy now, but Good luck on the growth, bro. I really like the old stuff.
Cool. Let me get a drum roll so we can announce number 1. And number 1 is Prince and the Revolution with Purple Rain.
Oh my God, just hearing you say that album title makes me feel all soggy inside.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You know, it was the record and the movie paired together that just like it just
The full package.
the full package, like any wild sexual stage moves that I might have.
Yeah.
Like I actually fuck my guitar on stage.
As
when
you
we do
should.
like an encore and I'm on the floor and I'm doing my guitar and I just can't. You know, it's totally a Prince bite. He's one of my idols. That record, like I Would Die For You, I cover that, you know, in the Assassin set, and I love that song.
What's your favorite song on the record?
That's so tough.
I can tell you mine. I'm like, let me just tell you mine. Beautiful Ones. Oh my God.
Beautiful Ones is amazing.
That song is like,
Baby, baby, baby.
do you want hair?
Oh my God. And you know, I remember thinking when I was a kid, I was like, that's so fucking metal when he starts screaming, do you want him? I was like, that's so aggressive but beautiful at the same time. And maybe I was mildly attracted to Prince at the time.
You wanted,
So that's-
Strange.
you wanted
that's,
to purify yourself in the
In
waters
the
of
waters of Lake Minnetonka. Why
Good
did you
job.
purify yourself in the waters of Lake Minnetonka? I remember I was like, that dude is my hero. He just told that bitch to take a bath.
Yeah.
Apollonia is one
to
of
be
the
in love with her.
sweetest. She's one of the sweetest girls. Good friend
She's
of
still
mine.
rocking in the looks department.
She is rocking like you have not, like even better than she was then. She's
Better?
gorgeous. She is gorgeous. She's so.
have to Google her.
Yeah, you definitely should.
Googly.
We do shows together sometimes,
Okay.
and she's
do?
just she's
I'm gonna
fantastic.
come to
She's
some of
really
your
sweet.
shows,
Yeah.
Michael.
Those girls.
Yeah. So thank you for sharing those 11 albums that changed your life. That was
man. No problem.
really fun.
Yeah.
That was really cool. Just
What's
jumping.
your number one?
I got to live like a large portion of my life through this whole
Yeah.
interview.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
All
We're
flashbacky
yeah.
and stuff.
As soon as you would say, and I like the suspense of not knowing what I wrote a long
Right.
time ago.
What did I say? What did I say?
They all stand true.
To this day, you wouldn't change any of those.
Orders, I might change
Okay.
orders of things. You know, I can tell there's a lot of albums I left out, like Zeppelin 4, and, the most obvious stuff like Dark Side of the Moon. Other things that influenced me, but those just seem so like everybody would say that shit. So
Right.
I think I
Yeah, but it's better, I think, when you don't think too much about
Yeah.
what you're answering in these kind of questionnaires, and you just truly feel something.
Yeah.
It's like that strikes a memory, and
it's not
you know,
contrived.
yeah. It's like, oh well, everybody loves that, so they're gonna identify with that. It's more
Right.
what you're identifying with.
Yeah.
So Turtle, what's your number one?
That's I'm not gonna lie. That's tough. Because
Stitch is here.
well, because it's an interesting premise. Because these are albums that changed your life. These aren't albums that you love. I mean, you can love an album, but it may not have changed your life.
Right.
There's some albums that you listen to, to escape, or for creative reasons you listen to them.
Yeah.
Everybody uses music for something different. So for me, number one is just so hard to pick right
All right,
now.
top three.
Okay, one of them has to be.
So much easier. When you say three, people are like,
People
"Oh,
are
I
like,
got it
open
now."
up.
This
Okay.
is
Okay.
this is no particular order, but you got to go with Nirvana's Unplugged. One of my favorite albums of all time. Another one of my favorite albums is Jimi Hendrix Live at the Monterey, the Monterey Pop Festival. Oh my God. It's from top to bottom, the audio that is captured, just his interaction.
The way he plays things slightly differently.
It's everything. Just everything about that. That was the album that made me fall in love with live concert albums. When I said, yes, this is exactly the way a concert album should sound, with him
Right.
talking and, even the guy that just comes on the stage that announces him, he's like, ladies and gentlemen, the Jimi Hendrix Experience, and then you're dun, 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 and you're just like, yeah. I was just like,
I do know.
Yeah, I'm like, I want to be the guy announcing Jimmy.
I want to be Jimmy.
Well. I'll be the guy announcing Jimmy, because that means he's friends with Jimmy.
Right, yeah.
That's cool.
Smoking bowls with
Exactly. And like I said, these are in no particular order. I'm gonna go Pablo Honey, Radiohead.
Wow.
Yeah. One of my favorite albums.
More than the Benz.
Yeah. I really didn't like the Benz at first. I was just like, because I liked Pablo Honey because every song on there just really resonated with me. I like the way it starts with you. The song, and then it goes into Creep, and then Thinking About You is like one of the songs I think is so underrated. Is Anyone Could Play Guitar, because the way it sonically it goes into the song, you can feel like movement in song, and it's just like, and then it goes and you can feel like in my head I could see at least like a camera panning to like an ocean, and then going to a bonfire with the band just playing. It's like so that entire Lurgy is an amazing song. Ripcord is like every song on there I just absolutely loved, even Blowout.
How did you feel about the other record?
Oh, I like them all,
but that's the one that just like kicked you in the face and said, "Kiss me."
Yeah, that's the one where I was just like, these Radiohead guys, I think they're onto something. I think I better follow them. Yeah. And then
they have a future. These guys.
Yeah. But then I fell in love with their B-sides. You know what I mean? They have some amazing one of my favorite songs.
I might be wrong.
You know what? I don't, because I have those songs, but I have them in their demo versions, and I don't like what they did to the song, because I was like, dude, like True Love Waits. I have
that's the one I do like.
I don't like that version.
So I could.
Yeah. Oh, it's but I have it, but it's
that's
so.
My favorite track on that.
The version that I have is such a crappy sounding version. But that's what I like about it, because it's just so raw and just so unperfect. That's just like, oh my god, this song is badass.
And did you play it on a record player?
No. I had it on tape. Somebody put it on tape for me. Just
on a cassette tape.
Yeah, on a cassette tape.
Okay.
That's how I got into some stuff.
Yeah.
Girls would make me mixtape.
Oh yeah,
mixtape. Completely sucked, but there'd be this one song. No track listing, so you had to ask all your friends.
Yeah, it's like,
who is this?
Yep.
Max, we are almost running out of time. You're 3.
Oh man, my 3. I'm gonna go with Kiss Alive.
You're such a rocker.
Yeah,
Kiss
that was like game changing for me.
That changed the world, really.
Yeah, it was crazy, coming from where I came from in my background with classical music, and my parents didn't allow too much of that, rock stuff in the house, and
like Detroit Rock City.
Yeah, and it was actually like, I'm like secretly playing it, between my ballet classes, and
That's kind of awesome. I could picture you like twirling and spinning and then running to the bathroom and be like,
trying to spit blood and stuff. I just like,
Next album. Sorry to speed this along.
I know. Second album, probably Stevie Wonder, Sounds in the Key of Life. That was epic. For an emotional breakthrough for me, changing the face of everything, musically structured. It was game changing. It was jazz.
The highest selling album.
Yeah, well, it was badass.
And you're number 1.
And no particular order.
I'm just saying.
No
hey,
particular
just one,
order.
two things.
And it will be, Michael Grant's new record. But until that point, it's
Yes.
right. And number one.
That's a tough one.
I'm
Dig deep.
I'm going to go with Freddie Mercury, Barcelona. Yeah.
None but Queen.
Well, Queen was life-changing as well, but that particular record, my father was an opera singer. It was all operatic, and Montserrat was the soprano that was singing on it, and she's phenomenal, and the production was sick, and as a producer, it changed the way I wanted to produce things. So yeah, it was like sound and chordal percussions and mixing rock, because he's all Freddie Mercury singing, not operatic, but with somebody who was doing that and live, and it was game changer.
Cool.
There it is.
Thanks for sharing that. Michael, Max does bring up a great topic. This will be our last thing I guess we'll talk about. New album. Well, let's talk about that real quick.
Well, there's been a bit of a delay. I joined this band called LA Guns.
Yeah. Darn you, LA Guns.
Well, it's funny, when we first ever talked to you, you had just joined LA Guns, and now it's like going really well. I see you guys are offline doing shows and stuff like that, which is great, but I mean, it does put a hindrance on new material.
Yeah, it actually does. There's some progress. And, it's been tough dealing with it. All I want to do is release perspective. But, we've been out on the road like 9 months out of the year, and in my free time, I'm like exhausted.
You want to go
Exhausted.
watch scary movies.
I just want to veg, because we're out 6 weeks at a time, 4 weeks at a time, and when we get home, you don't feel like buckling down and doing more work. You're like, holy crap, I gotta catch up on sleep and let my body repair and heal and recharge, and I have to decompress, and before you know it, you're out on the road again. You're like, okay, I'm all refreshed. I leave tomorrow at 8 a.m. Wow, I can't do anything. So, this year, I promised myself.
And you promised me too.
I promised myself. But yeah, it's just, for me, mostly,
Don't kill
or
yourself.
everybody
No.
from LA.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
go
go
there before you kill yourself.
Yeah, it's coming.
We're gonna hold your feet to the fire, and it better be out by this year.
Well, we have a whole
Shanked
room
47
full of.
times.
Yeah, well, I'd like to shank somebody else, because
Right.
I've been shanked too many times.
Whoa.
God,
Metaphor.
immediately Turtle has to take it someplace else.
Yeah.
Save us, Turtle.
Michael, thank you so much for coming on. Always a blast when you come on. It was a pleasure.